In grade 11s on your second lesson in the English grade 11 COVID classroom. Hope you have a happy day. Right, before we start, let's just quickly mark our reported speech exercises from the previous day. You will notice that number 1 is Peter said that the I changes to he was going to smash the record that day. Today changes to that day. Mary replied that the I changes to she. It was I shall, but because it's now she, it would be she will. So the past of will be would. She would have finished her work by 10. The teacher said that these changes to those books belonged in the past. Here changes to they. John said that he again would take this one, that one. Now changes to then, but these, those, to the next day or the following day instead of tomorrow. Then she exclaimed negatively, not, no, don't do that, but she exclaimed negatively that they would do that the next day or the following day. Then congratulations changes to the past congratulated. Susan congratulated Annette on winning the championship and said that her coach had to be thrilled. Right. Please mark your homework. And now we are ready for the next lesson, which will be active and passive voice lesson 2 for your language book. Right, now for lesson 2 again. Like I said last time, this time word chart is basically your English Bible. We will be using the last column of this, so you can open your book and go and have a look there. The last column for the simple tenses, present, am, is, are, plus column 3. The past, was and were, plus column 3. Future, you will note that all of them uses the third column form of the verb, which is this one. Every day I bite, yesterday I bit, I have just bitten. So for all of your changes into passive voice, it will be bitten, 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 bitten. So now you can see that to just simply change the object and the subject around and use bitten will not help you to keep it in the same time. And as I have explained to you previously, you are never allowed to change the time that something is happening. So you find out, is it in the present, and whether you change it into a question or negatives or passive voice, it must stay in the present or in the past. And the only things that will help you is these auxiliary verbs, am, is, are, was, were, shall, or will, for the present. Continuous means it is going on. And that is where my ing comes in. It's a specific time. It is going on at that time. So there is my ing. And to keep it there, they have given you the ing in being each time that you will use. There is no passive for the future continuous. You cannot change it into a passive form. So you can try, but you will not manage it. And then the perfect tenses. You will remember I explained to you, those are my happy tenses. Ha, ha, ha. I am happy this action is finished. Okay. It is usually where there are two things happening and one is finished. Then to show that that verb or that action is finished, I put a has for one person or a have for more than one person with the verb. But in the passive voice now, I will have to use been, okay? They've given you the word been to use each case. But I will still use my has or have, my had, or my will or shall to show it is future. And it is going to be finished. In the future, I put a have with it. by that time. Okay. Right, now to make things easier, I have just gone and I have copied this for you that you can go and copy in your book for the passive voice. We still have our present tense or our simple tense, our continuous tense with the ing, and our perfect tense, which means it's finished with a ha ha ha. And there is my ha 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 to show that it is finished, that action. Right. Then I will use am, is, and are for my present, was and were for my future. The same in the continuous tense, was and were, am, is, and are. But here I'm going to put a ing with it to show it is going on. Now for the first 2 or 3, it is a bit difficult because you have to be able to determine, is my verb in the present or is my verb in the past? Okay, because that will help you to determine when or how I am going to change my verb. Is it in the present or is it in the past? Right. Now, for this, I need to give you this plus a ing. So you will be able to figure out it is present or past. Like, I am going to eat the apple. I am going. So it's present continuous. I need to keep it in the present continuous. So I am going to eat the apple will change to the apple. One apple. Am, is, or is going. Is being, sorry, eaten by me. There's my ing. The going falls away and the ing is replacing it. The apple is being eaten with the third column of the eat. Right. And then we go to the perfect tenses. I have eaten the apple. I have. But watch out. The minute you start with the apple, it's one apple, so it can't be have. It must be the apple has. S for one person. Has been eaten by me. Okay. So this you can please copy in your book with your heading active and passive voice. And then you can copy down the rules in your book before you do your exercises. The same with the reported speech. Right, let's move on to some of the rules. There are 3 basic rules that you need to apply. You can never change the time or the tense that the action is happening. If it is in the present, you keep it in the present by using my present helping words. Okay. Secondly, you can never change the meaning of the sentence. Now let's look at this sentence. Susan eats cake. The subject is Susan. She is the doer. Okay. And the object is the poor thing that is suffering, in this case the cake, which is being eaten. So Susan eats the cake. I have now determined my subject and my object. Now what is happening? What is my verb? What is she doing? She eats. Eats is in the present. Now the rule for active and passive says this is now actively happening. But before the poor cake is finished, it wants to stand first in the sentence. And that is how you can reason passive voice. Leidend in bedrijvende vorm. Dis bedrijvend en dis nou leidend. Okay. So the cake is eaten by Susan. I've determined that every day she eats is present. To keep it in the present, simple present, okay, I am going to change it. Every day she eats, and I'm going to use am, is, or are, plus the third column, eaten. So cake, the cake is eaten by Susan. Put your finger on the verb, eaten, because remember I said it's third column for all of them. Okay? Is this present? Is. Yes, is present. So I have kept it in the same time. I did not change the time it is happening. Okay. I did not change the meaning when I changed the two, because if I just go and change those two around and say cake eats Susan, then I will change the meaning of the sentence. Therefore, I need to use this helping verb, which we call the auxiliary, to help the verb in the right time. Okay, right, now let's look at this sentence. I've given you a picture here of a boy eating a strawberry or biting into it. The boy bites the strawberry. If you are asked to change it into the passive voice, you need to identify your subject or the doer and the object. In this case, who is doing it? The boy. So he is my subject. And who or what is it being done to? To the strawberry, and the strawberry is my object. So I will start my sentence with the strawberry, and now I go and look at my verb, which is bites. When is bites happening? Okay, now we can say every day I bite, but the boy bites. So it's present tense. Yesterday he bit. He has just bitten. Okay, I am going to use that one with my first column, and I have now determined that bite is in the present. So I will use am, is, or are, because it is present. So one strawberry is bitten. Oh, this pen is bitten by the boy. And you need to write out by who. If it's not someone specific, but like I, he, you, they, then you can leave it out. But I always recommend write out by who, because you never know when they would like to have it there in your matric final exam. So rather play safe and then write by who it has been done. Okay, right, steps to follow. This you must also please copy in your book. Steps to follow for active and passive voice. First of all, identify the subject and the object, which we have done. Secondly, determine the time or the tense it is happening, which I did. I looked at the verb and I saw that it is present. So when I change the two around, I need to keep it in the present. And that is what I did there. Am, is, and are is my present helping words. Now the subject and the object changes places. Here's the strawberry. The object is now first. And the boy is the subject. And he is now standing after the object. Please note that it does not always have to stand right at the end of the sentence. As long as the subject and the object change places, they can be directly next to each other, but they have to change places. So just make sure your sentence structure is correct then. Right, then you change the verb to the third column form, which we have done. This is the third column, and this is my present. Present. Helping word. Right. Note that all tenses take the third column. You will see it here. I've given it you third column. And also if you go and look on this one, you will see third column, third column, third column for all of them. Okay. Right, then please no passive form for the future continuous. I have explained it here to you. There's no passive form, and also for that one, and neither for those, which we will still discuss later in the year. Right, then we move on. And the next page I would like to show you is one with a few exercises that I would like for us to do. Okay, you have now got all your notes there. Also, there's the next part of the note, sorry, was stuck underneath the other one. Always mention by whom the action is done. Like here we said by the boy, which is your subject. Sometimes the subject is implied, like you are doing it. Sit down. Who is the teacher speaking to? She is speaking to you. So the subject is implied, but they don't say it. Okay. So then you will change it around like the teacher ordered me to sit down. All right. If you have more than one sentence which has been joined with a conjunction, it is not ridiculous. You just keep your bearings and you go and identify where the one sentence stops and where the other one begins and where's your conjunction. And then you follow the basic rules that we did here. You identify the subject and the object in each sentence and the verb. And you go and change the first sentence, and then you have your conjunction, and then you go and change the second sentence. Right. Please just make sure that the subject and the object change places, and that the one doing it does not need to be at the end of the sentence, like I mentioned previously. They can stand next to each other as long as they change places. Okay. And the one isn't doing it anymore, but you write the object first. Please make sure that your sentence structure makes sense. Just read your sentence after you've changed it and make sure that the sentence structure is correct and that your sentence makes sense. Right. Now, let's have a look at the first sentence. I would like you to work with me. Mary sits on the chair. Mary is my subject. What is the object? The chair. Okay? So we will start with the chair. The chair, when or what is she doing? She sits on it. When is sits happening? Every day she sits. Yesterday she sat. She has just sat on the chair. So I will use that one, but I figured out that every day she sits, but they sit. Okay, so it's present. So I need to use one of my present words, am, is, or are, with the word sat. So the chair, one chair, is sat on by Mary. Right. Next sentence. The dancer is dancing on the stage. Who is doing it? The dancer. So here's my subject. Oh dear. And he is dancing on the stage. So the stage is my object. Right. And he is present continuous. There is my ing. So it's easy to now see that I need a present word, am, is, or are, and I need a ing to complete it into the present continuous. So the stage, am, is, or are. One stage is. How am I going to keep my ing? They have given us this word, being. So the stage is being danced on. Every day he dances. Yesterday he danced. He has just danced. Is being danced on by the dancer. Here's someone specific. Okay. Right. Those are the first two. Let's have a look at this one. The boys were kicking the balls. Who's doing it? The boys. They are my subjects. What are they doing? They are kicking the balls is my object. And what are they doing? They are kicking. The ing tells me immediately it's going on, so it must be continuous. And the word every day, it is am, is, and are. Was and were is in the past. So I have now established that it is in the past continuous. So to keep it there, I need a past word and I need a ing, which will be being, and the third column of kick. Okay, so every day he kicks. Yesterday he kicked. He has just kicked. So the balls, more than one ball, was or were. One always gets the S. So the balls were kicked. Sorry, I'm not thinking. Were being kicked. Because of my ing, were being kicked by the boys. Right, now you can go and double check yourself. When is was and were? It is in the past. When do I use the ing? When it is going on, so it's continuous. Past continuous, that one was past continuous. So I kept it in the same time. Let's have a look at this one. The men waved at me. Now, when I go and look at it, who is doing it? The men. They are the subject or the doers. Who are they doing it to? To me. Okay, so I am the object. And they waved at me. Every day they wave. Okay. But yesterday they waved. So it's past tense. So I've established my verb is in the past. I must keep it in the past. So I will go and use simple past, was or were, plus the third column of wave, which is every day they wave. Yesterday they waved. They have just waved. I am going to use this one. So now I can't start with me. It has to change to I. Okay, I, and then it is present. I mean past, sorry. So it's was or were. I was waved at by the men. There we go. Right, so. And now, for you to go and try this yourself and see if you have figured out, you bright little bright sparks, I know you are very clever. If you can do this, please go and change these 6 sentences into the passive voice. Take your time, take it easy. First, see who is doing it and underline it. Then who is it or what is it being done to for your object? I could have made it easier and underlined the object that you need to start with, but I want to see if you can do it yourself, because you can't always assume that they will underline it for you in an exam paper. You need to be able to do it and identify it yourself. So please go and try these 6 sentences. And then with the next lesson, I will mark this. Have fun and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you. Bye-bye.